Good morning, welcome back to my channel. So today the plan is to visit my Masonic mentor, si Worshipful Jack Palmer. Nag-retire na siya and doon na siya ngayon nakatira sa Masonic Homes sa Union City. I haven't seen him since maybe 2 years ago dahil sa pandemic. So bibisitahin namin siya ngayon. Papakita ko rin yung Masonic Homes, yung tirahan ng mga qualified Masons pag nag-retire sila, no? May option kami to apply for residency sa Masonic Homes, and then i-interviewin din natin siya about his Masonic experience. I'm pretty sure marami tayong matututunan dahil mahigit 50 years na siyang Mason. So samahan nyo kami ngayon, and oh, by the way, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. At ganitong klaseng mga vlogs ang ginagawa ko. It's either this or I'm on my motorcycle. Dadaan lang kami sa isang Filipino store. Kukuha kami ng lumpia, ang paborito ni Jack na Filipino food. Oh, by the way, si Jack pala, hindi ito Filipino, ibang lahi. So it's very interesting na he was able to stay with Crocker Lodge. Although yung membership ng Crocker Lodge through the years naging mostly Filipinos, pero nag-survive siya sa gulo ng mga Pinoy. So samahan nyo kami, and I hope you enjoy this vlog. Thank you.
Slight left.
Dito na tayo. Maaga. Ang aga natin. Okay lang.
Baka hindi pa pwede.
Pwede yan. Sabi ni Pahe, susunod daw siya dito eh. Tingnan natin.
Uy, dapat sinabi mo sa kanya na paaga ka. Kasi...
Hello. Hello. Visiting Jack Palmer.
Alright.
Pagtanda natin, titira din tayo dito. Oh, tinan mo. Tinan mo. May mga usa.
Saan?
Ayan, sa kanan.
Oh.
Si Bambi. Ang kanyang kanan. Kasama pa yun sa property. Sana may mahanap tayong may shade at ang init. Oh, ito. Okay. Very good. EV parking only. Wow. Talaga naman. Kaya pala bakante. Sabi sa'yo, bumili tayong Tesla eh. Di sana dyan tayo nakapark. Dito na lang. Hindi
Ano
tayo
ngayon
Tesla eh. Or
Sabado ngayon, baka sarado.
ang alin?
Tesla. Sa Lunes na.
Okay. Teka lang, ayusin natin. Ayos. Taga natin. So, andito na kami ngayon sa Masonic Homes sa Union City. Makikita niyo yung background. Yan, kasama yan lahat. And then, yung pinaka main building, ito. Yan, sa likod. So, pasok tayo dyan. Check in tayo. And then, bibisitahin natin si Worshipful Jack. Ang kaibigan ko na 94 na yata. Lahat ng alam ko about being an officer ng isang Masonic Lodge, most of those knowledge came from this guy. So, bisitahin natin and interviewin natin. Tara, let's go. See, sabi sa iyo, kung naka-electric vehicle ka, parating may bakanteng parking. Hindi ko alam kung saan ang entrance, kung ito o dun sa kabila. Sa kabila siguro.
Nag-ano na kayo, lalabas ako dito.
Pag? Dito kaya o baka doon?
Hindi naman tayo lagi pumupunta.
Doon sa main door? Doon? Hello.
Hello. Please be
We're visiting Jack Palmer. My name's Glenn.
Okay, I need a copy of your vaccination card, please.
Sure. Card, right? Card.
Oh, it's with you? Okay.
Yes. May temperature check yata dito. Ano ba ito? Temperature.
Please face to the detector frame. Normal temperature.
Ayos ah.
Normal temperature.
Okay.
Please face to the detector.
Ito. And
Please get close for taking temperature. Please get close for taking temperature.
closer daw.
Normal temperature. Normal temperature. Normal temperature.
Yung mga yung mga mason na nanonood nito, alam ang ibig sabihin nitong mga nasa likod ko. So,
Which one? Sorry? Oh, yeah. Remember at the bottom? Well, there's like, you went turn because it was straight. All the way straight.
There he is. Worshipful.
There he is.
Sabi ko na yun, sasabihin niya.
You're a little early, but that's fine.
I know, Worshipful. I didn't want you to wait. That's why I'm early. How are you?
I'm good. Hey,
Hi.
Enee.
How are you,
How's
Worship?
everything?
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you two again.
How fast does this go?
How do you like that, huh?
How fast does it go? How fast does it go?
I hear you. I was thinking, this is my Harley. This is my Harley. So we're limited to 3 miles an hour on the property.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. How long does it take
It's
to
a
charge?
fun thing.
I know. How long does it take to charge? An hour? Or you just plug it in every
A
time?
maximum charge is supposed to leave it overnight.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a 12-hour charge.
Mm-hmm.
But when it gets down to that green arrow there, that's time I put it on charge. Right now it's on full.
Okay, and this controls the speed?
Yeah, that's a speeder.
And you have a horn.
You got the 2 levers there to the forward and to the back.
Okay.
Big deal.
Yeah, where's she?
Okay, you want to see my digs?
Sure.
Okay.
Either way.
Now, let's see.
Where do we go? There? Here? Where?
I'll do donuts here.
Hey, where's you going? Here. Here's your lumpia.
Do we do donuts?
Here's your lumpia.
Oh, terrific. That's perfect.
I carry it. Oh, go.
So how's your day? I got some bad news for you.
What's the bad news, Worshipful?
I found out yesterday
That?
that somebody stole my candidate's apron. Can you believe that?
Holy cow. From where?
And my Hiram Award medallion.
Where was it stolen from? Your house? Here? Where?
No, not here.
Back through you, yeah. Go ahead and down.
That's right, we'll take next trip. No. Hadn't been over at the other place.
My God. What would they do with that
I had
apron?
prepared in advance, not knowing what might happen between Elsie and I, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I prepared my tux, my dress shirt, my cufflinks, my Hiram Award, my apron, my bow tie, my white gloves, all in one clothes bag.
Okay.
I had it hanging on the hanger for a long time. So yesterday I went to look for it,
And you couldn't find it?
Someone took the shirt out. They had the shirt hanging separate. I have to get over here and have this maneuvering.
You know how to drive, Worshipful? You know how to drive? You still have your license?
You're in the wrong position.
Go.
I'm gonna be cutting off somebody's toes here. Okay, Enee, let's go up to 3.
So, no packs, no gloves, no medallion, nothing. Everything's gone.
What can I say? Excuse me.
Hello.
Uh-oh. Then you got it. You got it. Oh, you okay?
So, you don't know where it is, where it's been,
No,
and you just discovered today, or yesterday, or
yesterday.
and you discovered because you were checking your stuff?
No, but they just moved me here Thursday.
Oh, so you couldn't
They're
find
putting
it.
things away. It'll open. Let me make a left here.
How do you like it here so far, Worshipful?
That's fine.
Elsie is here too, right?
Well, I had a beautiful place here I've been staying
Mm-hmm.
until they moved me over here. All this is new and they wanted to push everybody over here one time Thursday. Now we take another elevator.
What? Going up, down.
Now we go to 4. Yep. There you go. Now those are tight elevators, just stand by.
All right, go, Orsi.
Okay, now you can come in.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna go to 4. I had a huge place, 28 feet long, like a suite.
But why did you move?
Well, because they wanted.
Are we here?
Okay, we're gonna go out to the left.
Oh yeah, I see all the boxes. Everybody's moving
Yeah,
in.
everybody's moving. And I'm right here,
Where?
right here.
403?
Yep.
So you just park here and walk?
That's it.
Okay.
So we can't take, we're not supposed to take these in the room.
You don't need to lock this. Somebody might steal this.
No, I got the key. There's a lot of these out
You
here.
need help standing up, Orsi?
I'm fine, Mom, thank you. Are you waiting very long?
Nah. I was taking pictures and videos.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to interview you today, Worshipful.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can have a video record
Okay.
of your Masonic travels. Okay. So this is your new place.
Yeah, just make yourself comfortable.
All right. Where's Elsie? Where's she?
Where's Elsie?
Yeah.
She's over in the skilled nursing section.
Oh, so you're not in the same room.
No, we're not in the same building.
Oh, because she needs special care. Right, Worshipful?
What's that?
She needs special attention. Is that
Yes.
is that why? Okay.
Well, Okay, please be seated.
Where will you sit? Here? You wanna sit there?
Doesn't make any difference.
Sit there. I'll sit here.
This is nice over here, but much smaller. This is 18 feet end to end.
Mm-hmm.
The other one I have 28 feet.
Where do I put your food? Where do I put this? Your lumpia.
Leave it there on the table unless you want to eat it.
Here.
You can eat it now.
You might forget it. So I brought you 2 dozens.
Hey, woo! Terrific!
I brought you 2 dozens. That
I won't have to
way
go to dinner tonight.
you'll have enough to last you for 2 days. Okay, Marcy?
They're all cooked, I hope.
Yeah, of course.
Good.
So
Now, if you'd like, you can open up the door. I have a balcony out there.
let me see. We can have some air come in. Whoa! Look at that.
They're going to give us a lounge chair each. We're out there and it's on deck.
You have a nice view here, Marcy.
Yes.
Very good.
Do you approve?
I approve. You know the girl that took care of your paperwork coming here? Enee knows her.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I have my mother over here in this building.
Your who?
I have my mother over here in this building
Which one?
for about 8 years.
Your mother
Yes.
stayed here?
She's here in this very building.
Oh,
Yeah, she died in 82.
okay.
I have to apologize for the condition of the room.
Worshipful.
I still got things in here. I want you to get into this box over here today.
And what
And
what do we do with
there's
that?
a box behind you. It's got books in it.
Uh-huh.
They're going to help me put those away.
Okay.
But,
What's in that box?
well, it's a combination of records. I've got a thing in there for you.
For me?
Yeah, I got to tell you this. First of all, congratulations on becoming secretary.
Oh, not yet.
I just learned. What?
Not yet. There's going to be an election next week. I'm just doing the work right now because I am the assistant secretary.
Oh, you're the assistant.
Yes.
Oh.
So Moises has retired, and we're going to have an election on the stated meeting next week.
Well, I just found that out last night when I called Moses
Mm-hmm.
to tell him about my candidate's apron.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
So what's in the box?
there's a little bundle of records about that deep. I had taken those home years ago when they had a fire in the building.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the only thing that I was able to salvage. And for some unknown reason, I just never got them back to Lodge for one reason or another, I don't know.
Okay. Do you want me to bring
No.
it back to the lodge?
Yeah, we've got to get into the box there,
Mm-hmm.
and you can take those back with you today if you will, please.
Yes, I can do that. Yeah.
So,
Worshipful, I am going to interview you today. Okay?
what's that?
I'm going to interview you today. We're going to do an interview. Interview.
Interview.
Yeah. Okay? So we get recorded. Okay, Marcy? Are you game?
I know your style.
Okay, so we need
So
to
let's
get
go for it.
we need to get everything on video so we can preserve it. Okay.
I gotcha.
All right. Okay.
I'll
So
do road tricks.
okay, Worshipful. Well, first of all, state your name.
Claude J. Palmer,
All right.
better
And
known to all my close friends as Jack.
so you are Jack. Okay.
Please
And,
call me Jack.
okay, Worship. And then date of birth. When were you
I
born?
was born November 19th, 1925 in Billings, Montana.
Oh, I didn't know that. You're from Montana?
Well, my parents were divorced, and my mother brought me here to California when I was a year old, so I really don't know anything about Montana.
Okay. And how old are you now?
Well, let's see,
94?
69 backwards.
96?
Yes, sir, 96 years old.
69 backwards.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, Worshipful, stop making sex jokes, okay? Don't do that. I'm too young. Okay, Worship. During your lifetime, what kind of jobs did you do?
Well, I'm retired in the U.S. Post Office, San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, excuse me, I had 30 years of service, and I left 2,000 additional hours sick leave. So they gave me 32 years credit for civil service time. And
But
what I liked about it mostly was the fact that I was retiring at the age of 55 with 30 years of service, which was the minimal requirement for civil service pension in those years.
So you have been collecting pension for more than the years you worked.
Yes, all the taxpayers have been paying my salary for 41 years now.
That's great, Mercy.
I have been retired for 41 years.
You told me you were in the Navy too, right?
Yes, I was in the Navy in World War II for 3 years.
And you were on a ship?
I was on the USS Ajax, which was a repair ship.
Mm-hmm.
When I got out of boot camp, we had a group of us which we called, what was it? I can't recall the term for it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole group of us were assigned to one particular ship.
Go ahead. Just go ahead,
The ship
Worship.
hadn't gone into commission, so we were assigned to outlying barracks there in San Pedro, which is actually Compton, California. And we had occupied the upstairs floor level of an old train depot there. And we had a bunch of Australian Navy personnel on the ground floor. And we were 1 mile off the base, and we had to go out to Terminal Island every Friday afternoon for roll call.
Okay.
Outside of that,
What did you do on the ship? What was your assignment?
well, my assignment, believe it or not, you know, what do you want to say?
Were you in the mess hall?
Yes, if you wanted to have fun with it, I would tell everybody I was a belly robber. Now, a belly robber is either a cook or a baker, and I was a baker.
Okay.
And I enjoyed that job because when I went aboard ship, I had high hopes of being assigned to the electrical gang because I majored in electrical shop in high school. But there wasn't any opening in that particular time. And as I had worked part-time for Langendorf Cake in San Francisco, I applied for the bake shop, and I was successful there. So I was there in the bake shop for over 2 years.
So from electricity to baking. Huh?
Well, it all worked out fine.
Okay, Worship. Now, what year did you get married? You forgot?
What time?
What year did you get married?
Oh, okay. My wife and I knew each other in high school. When she was a junior and I was still a senior, we met briefly because there were 3 girls that were running around together all the time. And I would walk home from school with them, and then I'd go on home after I left them off.
Mm-hmm.
Because they lived in the same neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Was Sister Elsie one of those girls?
So Elsie was one of the 3 girls.
Mm.
I had dated the other 2 girls, but not Elsie.
You dated the two, but not Elsie.
That's right, at that time, okay?
And you ended up with Elsie.
But the story is, Elsie asked me if I would write to her. And
Why?
said,
Where were you going? Why would she write to you?
well, because I was going overseas. I was
Ah, the
leaving.
Navy. Okay.
Yes. So she asked me if I would write, and I said, yeah, I guess so, you know. So first thing you know, here when I got out to Pearl Harbor in January, I get a letter from my fiancée. She says, I'm sorry, but it's all over with. I'm going to marry so-and-so, another kid there in high school that we knew.
Wait. Wait.
What's that?
You had a fiance when you went to Pearl Harbor,
Well,
and then Elsie asked if she can write you. Is that
well,
how it went?
it's rather complicated. The three girls,
Uh-huh.
the first girl that I dated turned out to be a very wild girl. We were not at all compatible, and so I didn't have anything to do with her.
Mm-hmm.
So the second girl and I hit it off big, to the point that we became engaged before I left.
Oh.
And before I left, my mother was a chaperone, and she and this other girl came down to San Pedro for a few days before I went overseas. And like I say, then in January here I get this Dear John letter, so terminating our relationship.
Dear John letter, which means a breakup letter for servicemen, right?
Oh, we had a ball though. She and I hit it off big.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we went to dances all the time. We enjoyed so many different things together.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, it didn't work out. So
No, what I'm curious about, Worshipful, Elsie knew about this, right? Elsie knew about your engagement.
oh, I was devastated.
Huh?
I was devastated when I got that Dear John letter.
No, I'm asking.
But Elsie asked me before I left if I would write to her.
I know, but she also knew that you were engaged, right? When she asked you to write her? Okay.
Yeah, she knew.
All right.
But I say it was strange in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started writing. First thing you know, after I got 6 or 7 months with her, I was writing every day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
She would send me a little thing for some unknown reason. So anyway, she just wanted to keep her,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want to say? Keep me interested in her. So anyway, well,
Okay, Worshipful. That's
I have her
a
picture.
nice story.
I have her picture up here
And
that I
paabot
asked her
niya.
to send to me.
And paabot niya. What picture? This one?
Yes, right here on the end. She was 17 years old in that picture.
This is not Elsie, Worshipful. She doesn't look like this.
That,
She doesn't look like that.
I think you got the wrong picture.
Is this you?
Yeah, sure. Good photographer.
Yeah, the photographer was very talented.
I paid
You look good here.
I paid the photographer a bonus for that.
Anyways, where
Hey,
she?
get the other picture done.
Where? Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh,
And
wow.
that's Elsie.
Oh, wow.
She was 17 in that picture, and she sent that to me. And I had the fellows aboard ship frame it for me.
Mm.
They made the frame and did the whole job on
Okay.
it. Now you see, being a baker, you had an advantage.
People loved you?
Everybody was your friend, or you were everybody's friend, however you want to put it. Anything I wanted on that ship,
Uh-huh.
you just asked for it.
Okay. Okay, Worship. Are you tired? Can we go on?
Sure, go.
Okay. Just checking. You might be
No, I'm doing
you might be
fine.
getting exhausted.
No, I'm doing fine.
All right. Okay. So here's the more serious questions now. Okay. What attracted you to Freemasonry? Was there a member of the family before you who were Masons?
There was a lot of masonry in my family history.
Okay.
My mother's father was a past master. My dad's father was a past master. My dad was a past master. My brother was a member of the fraternity, but he was in the Air Force, and he was never in one place.
All right.
He was never in one place long enough to become an officer of this lodge. So I knew all about all of the family history in that regard. I always aspired to become a Mason, but I always thought, well, these guys, for some reason, must be important people. And so I thought, well, I'd never be qualified.
Oh, you
So
okay.
one day,
So you
after
thought.
we were married, we went down to visit my dad and stepmother.
Mhm.
And I told my dad at that time, I said, I'm thinking about joining the Masonic Lodge. He said, you are? And I said, yes. So he came up for each of my 3 degrees.
Wow.
So,
How old was he when you became a Mason?
oh, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you when.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we have a rich family history of that. And through all of their, what do we want to say? I treasured that family history to the point that I wanted to even be better than what they were in that regard, so far as masonry was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So every opportunity that I had to further myself in masonry was a big plus.
Mm-hmm.
Because none of them, well, my dad became recorder of the shrine in Fresno at one point, but except that, for lodge only, they were just past masters. They didn't go beyond that. They didn't serve as treasurer, secretary, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But so I set a new record. I exceeded all of their achievements, and I was so happy to be able to continue to do all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I had so many wonderful friendships because of all of this. I took pride in being secretary to the point that I knew every member of the lodge, and when I would send out their dues receipts, I'd send a note with it. But it wasn't all business. I conducted all of my business strictly on a first name basis.
Mm-hmm.
And
How
so
long?
we developed a strong relationship in our lodge through all of that.
How long were you secretary?
I served as secretary for 26 years.
So you knew everybody? Most of them?
Well, all of them that ever came to lodge, yes, I knew them by sight and I knew by name.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to add something to that. When I came in the lodge, as soon as I got my 2nd degree and had acquired my proficiency, I began coaching candidates. And I took pride in the fact that I have coached practically every member of the lodge since that time. There have probably been 8 or 10 members that I've never coached.
Mm-hmm.
And from there on, I coached all of these members that became past masters. I was coaching them all the time that they were performing their ritual work.
Mm-hmm.
I was officer's coach for almost 30 years as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I took pride in the fact that I was able to help these fellows the same way that others had helped me. In 1985, I received my Hiram Award. And Hiram Award is given to the members of the lodge that voluntarily devote X number of hours to doing things to help the lodge operate all the time. So along comes a new master of the lodge. He was a young man at the time even. And he told me one day, he said, well, so you've got your Hiram Award. He says, now how do you like this? And he had ordered an oil portrait of me.
Who is that guy?
And that guy's name was Worshipful Glenn Alvarado, past master.
All right.
And he knocked my socks off with that. And the other thing that these members of my lodge have held me in such high esteem that they even named our dining room in my honor. And I've just been overwhelmed with this sort of recognition, because I've always been a low-key kind of guy, and just doing my thing. The main thing is that we do it all for Masonry. It's all working together.
Mm-hmm.
You do what you can to tell everybody the right way to do it, or this is the way you do it. And we went by the, what do you want to say, the unwritten law. When a new master would come to me when I was secretary, and he would ask, how do I do this? Or what do I do in this case? And I would give them my advice, and I'd say, don't tell anybody Jack Palmer said this. Jack Palmer told you to look at the CMC. So there were probably times when I did my best to help, but I may have made a few mistakes. I don't know. Nobody ever brought anything to my attention in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow we all survived, and we have a wonderful lodge, wonderful members. A lot of people criticize our kind of membership being mostly made up of people from the Philippines, but we're all the same. It doesn't make any difference what nationality you are or what color you are. When it comes to Masonry, we're all one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
And even though there are a lot of us that are of different religions, so long as your religious belief is concerned, all of that's left out the window too. You know, you leave all of that stuff behind you, because everything we do is based on the Bible. And so that's the main thing that we look at.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way we treat one another.
Mm-hmm.
And we're very solid in that regard. Everybody respects that.
Okay. Worshipful, can you briefly describe the time and the time or the period wherein the two lodges consolidated? I understand you were in South San Francisco Lodge, right?
Okay.
This is just for the record, because you are the living historian, and I want this recorded on video so we can watch it later on in the future. And
Fine.
okay, go.
Okay. In 1964, we held a discussion in South San Francisco Lodge. I was master of South San Francisco Lodge. And our building was in disrepair. All the plumbing needed to be replaced. And it was so expensive, we had open discussions on this, finally to the point where everybody agreed we would have to sell the building. So in 1964, we sold the building, and we had entered into a consolidation with Francis Drake Lodge in South San Francisco, primarily because the name of our lodge belonged there. Their lodge was Francis Drake Lodge. But there were members of Francis Drake Lodge that, I don't know whether they resented our consolidation or what their objection was, but it was not a happy consolidation. And so I went to see the Grand Secretary, who I knew was one of our former inspectors years previously. And he told me, he says, well, he says, it was not a good marriage, you get a divorce. I said, okay. So one of the little things I've been meaning, we've always met on Thursday night. And South San Francisco Lodge was almost Thursday night. We went down to South San Francisco, Francis Drake Lodge. We were still able to get a Thursday night meeting night. So then I approached Crocker Lodge in Daly City. We had known the members of Crocker Lodge in Daly City for many, many years. Our two respective lodges used to hold exchange visitations each year. So we were very well acquainted with the bunch up there on the top of the hill. So we went to Crocker Lodge and asked if they had a meeting night open for us. And they said, yes, you have Thursday night if you want it. So we've never changed our meeting night.
Mm-hmm.
So we became a tenant of Crocker Lodge. And in 1988,
Mm-hmm.
the master of Francis Drake Lodge, Crocker, what am I trying Crocker Lodge. The master of Crocker Lodge got me aside because they were having past master's night that night, and I was invited to dinner. And in the course of the dinner, the master casually asked me, he says, Jack, what do you think of our two lodges consolidating? And I said, I never gave it any thought. He said, well, he said, we're having a lot of problems. He said, it looks like we're going to have to consolidate, and maybe you fellas would like to consolidate with us. So I had arranged for a consolidating committee meeting from our lodge with theirs. And after we ironed out our differences and so forth, and we agreed to our terms of consolidation, the consolidation became effective June 1st, 1989.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been a very solid lodge.
Worshipful, if you can remember, what were the main terms of the consolidation? What were the main terms of the consolidation?
Okay. One of the things was we would wear tuxes. We would not be wearing tails. Crocker Lodge always wore tails. They were very formal.
Mm-hmm.
And we did not want to go to that extreme. And we'd also required white gloves in all of our special meetings.
Okay.
Tux with white gloves.
Mm-hmm. What about the lodge number?
Okay. After the, let's see, I guess it was still during the time of the consolidation.
From what?
Consolidating committee
Uh-huh.
had discussed all these different things. Okay. When it came down to the name of the lodge, we had all decided, well, you know, South San Francisco, that's done. South San Francisco doesn't belong up here. Let's just go ahead and keep Crocker Lodge. You know, that was the end of discussion. Nobody objected to that.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a difference of opinion with the number. And that particular problem was brought to my attention by one of the fellows that was acting as treasurer of the lodge. And he came to me, it's on a personal confrontation, and he says, why do we have to have 212? Why can't we keep 454? And I told him, I said, well, I said, customarily, Grand Lodge will say that the lower number always applies.
Mm-hmm.
The name is secondary, but the number usually applies to the older lodge.
Mm-hmm.
So he wouldn't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had quite a confrontation. but this on a personal basis now, remember. So anyway, I said, okay, let's go up to Grand Lodge and get this thing settled once and for all.
So San Francisco Lodge was number 212,
Yes.
and Crocker Lodge was 454.
Correct.
All right.
So we went up to Grand Lodge, and everything was loaded in my favor.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Grand Secretary at that particular time
What's your
used to
friend?
be one of our inspectors.
Okay.
His name is Robert Klinger.
Okay.
He was a great fellow. We really enjoyed having him as our inspector. So I laid it all out there for Bob Klinger. And he hit this fellow right between the eyes with it. He said, well, he said, there's nothing to discuss. He said, the older lodges, the one that always rules.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you guys are going to keep 212.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the end of the discussion. But I had a few differences up there with some of the guys there from Crocker. The same fellow, he came up to the office one day before our consolidation, or shortly after, I'm not sure which now. And I was working with their computer, consolidating the membership records.
Mm-hmm.
And he sat down to a telephone over there, and he's calling the bank, and he's conducting bank business of lodge accounts from one to another and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
When he finished, I told him, that'll be the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
I said, there'll be no more personal bank transactions. I said, all of that has to be approved by the lodge.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they were doing so many shortcuts because they were just trying to keep afloat, that's all. They didn't know what they were doing. And they weren't keeping good membership records. It was terrible. They didn't pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
We had all of those different things.
Don't say that. You're on.
But it took us a long time to get all the taxes paid off and everything. We received a lot of penalties over all that.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
I relied on one of our past masters by the name of Moises Mendoza to help me with that because he worked on taxes with the city of San Francisco.
Okay. So are all the pictures on our wall, are those past masters of Crocker 454 or San Francisco 212? Or a combination?
Well, it's a combination. In one section, you have all of those of South San Francisco Lodge up till the time we consolidated. Then on the opposite wall, you had the past masters of Crocker Lodge to a point of consolidation. And then from there on, it's always been portraits of past masters of the Consolidated Lodge 212.
Okay. So you produced 30 past masters with Crocker Lodge as
Correct.
coach.
Correct.
Was it 30, Worshipful? Were you coach for 30 years or more?
Yes, officer's coach for 30 years.
Okay. All right.
I enjoyed every minute of that. I was
From memory, okay, here's the challenge.
yes, but I was blessed then because in South San Francisco Lodge, one of our past masters by the name of Henry Theodore Conserva taught public speaking at Hunters Point Shipyard in San Francisco. And he would help us with our ritual work in that regard. He taught us public speaking. In that regard, the main thing of his message with all of that was, you speak loud enough so that member way down in that back corner down there can hear you. Because if he doesn't hear you, he's going to be talking to the member next to him because they're not interested because they can't hear. So they always wanted to stress that point of keeping everybody's interest because speak up and deliver.
When I entered the line back in 2006, I was told that at that time you have already mellowed down as a coach because you used to be a lion, but during my time maybe you were just a leopard. But I did learn a lot from you, Worshipful. In fact, whatever you teach me, whatever changes there are, I still follow your style. I still follow what you taught me.
Well, I did my best to be a teacher. I wanted to retain your interest. I wanted them to do better. And they did. They did. They learned a lot from me, and I really appreciate everybody's cooperation. You know, that our membership had speech problems because of their language barriers. When you come from a foreign country, you're prone to speak your native language all the time because it's the easiest. That's the one you're most familiar with. And here you come to America and you're speaking a foreign language. I'm hearing the word ceremony pronounced ceremony. I'm also hearing the word melancholy, melancholy, because they're reading out of the book instead of listening to what is being said. So I had to teach these differences to these different individuals that had that speech problem. So I'd say it was a mutual concern, and everybody enjoyed it, I think, to a point. You know, some people are prone to resist asking questions because they feel inferior if they have to ask. But that's the worst thing they can do. The main thing, ask questions so that you get it. It's no problem.
Okay, Worshipful. You know, I had this list of questions written down here. But as soon as you started talking, I didn't have to ask them because all the questions I wanted to ask, you already answered. So this is useless.
Good.
I'm just gonna throw this away.
Good.
And to end this historic interview with Worshipful Jack Palmer, what would be your message to the brethren of Crocker Lodge and all Masons who might be interested to watch this? And that is how we will end the interview.
Well, you want to remember that we're all brothers. Just because you became past master doesn't make you any better than anybody else. Because being a past master shows that you've acquired a higher level of education. Masonry is very educational. If you abide by all your teachings, you can't get this kind of an education anywhere else. You can't buy it because you have to experience it. You've gone through all your degree work, you've gone through all of your proficiencies as a member. If you don't want to become an officer, it doesn't make that much difference. It's all governed by how much you want to learn, because Masonry will teach you to better yourself in all respects, particularly those that have a language problem. So it's a win-win for everybody. We've got wonderful members. We don't, what do you want to say? We don't have any differences of nationalities or things like that. We do our best to avoid any problems like that because we practice Masonry in our lodge. How should I say it? I can't think of the word for it right now. But when we get new members, we experience situations where the new members are so eager to become a Mason and learn. They want to work in the kitchen. They want to want to do all the dirty work right away, you know. But, well, that's supposed to be done by the officers. But like I say, these guys, we have all come in and they're all gung-ho. They all want to be part of it. And that's what makes it work. The fellows are all interested. They want to become members. They want to learn who this guy is. They want to get acquainted with that guy. And it just works out great.
Very good, Marcy.
You build lasting friendships through all of Masonry. Right now, I am enjoying Masonry to the point where I can no longer visit Lodge personally. I'm having past masters come to visit me. So this is telling me something, that if they weren't coming to visit me, that tells me that they don't care about me anymore. But they do come and see me. I just had past Grand Master of the Philippines come to visit me a couple of months ago. So we've got everlasting friendships. It's just a wonderful organization. I never say enough about it. Particularly about Crocker Lodge No. 212. I'm very proud of our lodge and the members.
Okay, Worshipful. I think that will be a great end for this interview, Worshipful. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Worshipful Glenn.
And we're still on, right? We're still on.
Well, another thing is I chose Worshipful Brother Glenn to preside over my funeral service. So that'll be our last connection.
We'll do it with pride and sadness, Worshipful. It's okay. Yeah. You won't be needing one for a very long time.
Well, you only live once.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been a wonderful experience. I've enjoyed Masonry. I've probably got more out of Masonry than most people.
Okay, Mercy. So now let's say bye-bye.
Adios. No, wait a second.
Okay, go ahead, Mercy. What else?
Sige.
Sige. Sige. Sige. You say salamat.
Maraming salamat po.
There you go.